Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Steel Show. This is your host Ace, and I'm today with Mr. Asim Searah. Welcome to Saudi Arabia, Mr. Asim.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
How you exposed into the music and how you fell into love with this extreme music you're performing nowadays?
I was exposed at the age of 4, and I was introduced to Dio, and at the same time it was Michael Jackson, Dio. But Dio was the first one, and then as well Guns N' Roses. But of course Dio caught my attention. But I didn't become a musician like then. Of course I was singing much more before that. I picked up the guitar at the age of 12. And professionally I would say I became a musician when I left Pakistan and I went to Finland in 2007. So I would say 2015 would have been onwards that I started to officially call myself as a professional musician, that became my career. Yeah, it took a lot of time and of course the effort of getting out of my country to be able to pursue what I wanted to pursue, and Finland was the country that gave me the opportunity and chance, and of course it's all up to the work of a person, so it's not like that a country just you go there you just become something that you want to become. It's all up to you, right? And Finland has given me that opportunity and chance to be able to do what I wanted to do and achieve.
You have been into famous bands, you were with Wintersun, you have your band Damnation Plan, also the True Cult Club. How is the variation for you when it comes into the creating of music within these bands?
I joined Damnation Plan in 2012 when I was just hired as a singer back then, and then when we released the album I joined the band as well. So then the creative process has been around since a long time. It just became usual for me to be able to jump from different music style to music style to be able to create different things. And then True Cult Club is completely a conscious decision that we did because we wanted to create something away from taking things seriously and taking things like, oh, well, the process is very simple. We write very fast in True Cult Club as well. It's not like that we require. Some songs I've written literally in 1 or 2 hours. So it's just like, it just happens to come out, right? Then I have different projects, like for instance, I had an honor and privilege to be able to collaborate with a band called Epica. We have a release coming up in November, and that song came out very fast as well. So it just depends, how the elements are together. But most of the stuff that I've released in my entire career had been metal. But it's still different that you make different music with different bands. So luckily I don't have different bands with same kind of style of music.
When you learned playing the guitar,
yeah,
and your vocals as well.
Yeah.
So was it a DIY or were you supervised?
Well, in the beginning it was all me, of course. I didn't take any lessons and so on. I learned myself. And singing came very naturally to me because of course the Eastern classical music, the vocalists and so on, but still a lot of work was done, right? I wish I would have had the better opportunity to take lessons from other people who are of a certain caliber, that I would have been able to not waste many of my years and being able to learn things quicker.
How were you exposed to the middle, you talked about Gigi. How you interacted with Gigi back then and exposed to the scene here?
It was quite funny. In 2018, Finland has a festival which is a metal festival called Tuska. Tuska Metal Tuska Open Air Festival. And on the second day of the festival, we were just walking by, and then this lady just jumps in front of me and goes like, "Hi, Asim." I'm like, okay, yes. But usually that happens as well, when people are excited, they meet up and so on. I used to be that as well. I still am, depending on who I'm meeting. But so I didn't take anything to a serious point. I was like, yeah, cool, nice to meet you. And the first thing she goes and says, "I'm a huge fan from Saudi Arabia." I'm like, wait, what? Hold on a second, say again. Where are you from? Saudi Arabia. I'm like, wow. This is mind-blowing because I never thought that anybody from Saudi Arabia I would meet anybody from Saudi Arabia, particularly in the metal context.
So this was the first time you heard someone from Saudi Arabia
as a metal, because I consider that if you come from somewhere, you were kind of like an ambassador of that area. in that sense. In the metal community, that's what I feel as. And she was the representation of Saudi Arabia as a metalhead, like, you know, to come around and interact with people. And I mean, I've been in metal for a long period of time. I have not met a metalhead from Saudi Arabia before, so that was my first interaction. So we had those discussions, and that's how I got the exposure to a little bit of the Saudi Arabia's metal scene. I'm not involved in it. Everything that I know is because of Gigi, and everything that I got to know that there's a possibility of doing things here as well is because of her. So she had been kind of like literally the right ambassador that a metal community can have in Europe. Hands down, spot on. Yeah, I wouldn't call myself that I know really the scene, but I do understand it. I did experience the same region from where I did come from, how the things were, how could the things be, and what kind of difficulties that as metal musicians particularly have to go through, or the metal community has to go through. So it was easier for me and Gigi to discuss about anything. It was just like, if she would say A, I would say B, and we both would understand each other. So this is what I'm seeing and feeling a little bit about the community, that it was so obvious for me to just interact and be part of it, which I believe now I'm sort of part of it because I played here as well, which doesn't make it being.
You're one of us now. You're one of us.
Oh, well.
You're one of us now.
That's one of us.
One of us.
One of us, Google Gobble, one of us. We accept that one of us. Google Gobble, one of us. We accept that one of us.
What are your thoughts about the current musicians that you are giving the workshop right now here in Jeddah? What are your thoughts and how you interacted with the students in here at the workshop?
I would say if Heavy Arabia wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have been sitting. Yanni, the musician from Finland, wouldn't have been here as well. So Heavy Arabia is opening a lot of doors for the community, which I hope that the community sees as well. That's kind of my mission as well, so that, you know, the workshop that I'm giving, so that the experiences that I have, and I did that in 5 years, I would love to see people being able to do in 6 months, so that at least they are capable of, you know, saving their time, and more creativity can be done in a shorter period of time. My interaction with the people here has been immensely awesome. The hospitality is crazy. Besides that, the music-wise, I think the curiosity is quite much here. I think I do see that there are people who really want to learn and expand, explore. They really want to do it. I think the curiosity is just the key here. And it's been very essential for the fact that there's going to be much more things that are going to be happening. This is now a stronghold. I think this is something that's going to change a lot for the community to come in the future.
Asim, it was a really pleasure having you here in Jeddah. I wanted to know, what, from your perspective, what would you advise for the musicians in this particular part of the world, for the musicians and the fans of this music? What advice would you like to give?
First thing first, learn. Learn from the others and put ego aside, because as this is just literally a developing community, I wouldn't say that I am very developed. I'm still learning as well. As I said, I'm still learning. Put the egos aside, work together, especially when the community is smaller. If you work together, you're able to grow together faster and stronger. Be a curious cat and, you know, reach out to anybody that you feel like learning from. Work hard on something that you want to achieve. Because if I could be here where I am in my career from Pakistan, I think it's possible for anybody. Learn what not to do.
Learn what not to do
from the others.
That's quite interesting advice.
That's good.
Pleasure meeting you.
Likewise, man. Thank you very much for
I
having
truly
me.
appreciated being here, and shout out to Gigi from Heavy Arabia
Absolutely.
for making this interview possible.
Sure.
And for this workshop. And man, come to Saudi Arabia all over again. And
Oh, that's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure. It's just
we're
the
looking
beginning.
forward for all of that.
Exactly. Now the doors have opened, so yeah. I will be